Last time we played against Cloud9, it was a really close series. Jensen's having a really great season so far.
Smithy chatting in by Jensen, who is now level 6. Double kill for LeBlanc.
As long as I can hold my own against him, I think my team can do better.
I think EchoFox is legit like Frog and just 1v9 every game.
Lemonation tries to put up Unbreakable, but will he be broken? It's the kill from Turtle. Moon goes down. The shot from Acadian is Frog and turns with the Voidling.
I really believe that we can do well, but we just have to like bounce back from the loss streak.
Acadian's looking about like a pincushion. A double kill for Piglet.
No matter how many players they have, if they're not good enough, then it's not going to work out. I don't think they're a threat at all.
Welcome to fans in the studio and at home for another full day of North American LCS. Nothing is set in stone as teams fight to make big moves in the waning weeks of the summer split. And here we have Flame and Immortals entering the studio moments ago in hopes of snagging that #1 spot alongside CLG and TSM. They'll face off against Cloud9 today, whose top laner Impact was catching up with old teammate Adrian. He had a great performance on Team Dignitas yesterday, and we'll hope to extend that sort of performance against Arrow and Xpecial today. Hello, everyone. I'm James Dash Patterson. In the Game of Thrones, you win or you host the analyst desk with these two fools, Mark Zimmerman and Isaac Zale Cummings-Bentley. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Not today, Dash. Not today.
You know nothing, Zale.
I don't watch that show.
And you don't watch that show, so none of these references
embarrassing.
mean anything to you. Well, let's go ahead and pull up the standings to see what teams are fighting for coming into the day. Immortals and TSM each have a chance to tie CLG for first today, while Team Envy, Cloud9, and Dignitas all want to claim sole possession of 4th place by the end of the day. We'll see who can alter their fate with our matches today. First up on NALCS 1, Cloud9 and Immortals try to topple one another in the battle arena. Then Team Liquid have the tough task of facing a surging TSM. Over on NALCS 2, Team Dignitas look to cool off the P1 hype in the battle theater, and then Team Envy aim to end their week 2-0 versus EchoFox later in the day. Now, coming into week 6, we thought we had clarity in how the teams stacked up, but after a couple of 2-0 upsets, lots of 2-0 games yesterday, nothing seems certain anymore.
No, and I think with CLG, they're still a little bit surprised to see them lose to Dignitas, a team that we were starting to write off a fair amount, considering that they had went from 5-1 to 5-5, lost 4 straight series, and then you're coming off a break week. You think CLG is going to come out looking fresh, and they honestly didn't look that good. He had a really bad day. Their bot lane got taken care of, and it was just not impressive at all.
Yeah, and it's a little bit surprising for me to see Omar God come in after a loss. They're down 0-1 in the series. They're still utilizing these subs, and I feel like for the most part, subs have not been working out for teams.
Now, on the flip side, Dignitas, as you mentioned, snapping that 4-match losing streak in the 2-0 victory yesterday. Of course, that's just a single, isolated series. How do we feel they've improved given that, down week of Rift Rivals?
I mean, you have to look at Adrian coming in. I know you're saying a lot of subs you don't think look good, and it sounds more like a replacement than a substitution based off what they're saying, where they scrimmed exclusively with that roster for the whole week. And based off that, at least, it looks pretty good. They did use Kalista Thresh a lot, which is right now one of the most dominant bot lanes, but the big thing is being able to execute that game plan. CLG might not have had the right priority in the draft, and they gave up a really strong bot lane 2 times in a row and got destroyed by that.
Now, another squad just outside the top 4 coming into the week was Team Envy. They 2-0'd Cloud9, moving to 6-5 themselves.
And I mean, this sounds like a big upset because it's Cloud9 versus Team Envy, but when you look in the standings, they're only 1 game behind. They are now tied. Envy has been playing better and better, and honestly, we keep kind of giving Cloud9 the benefit of the doubt because their team didn't change.
Well, they were second place in spring, right?
Exactly, and they almost won, right? But they have not been playing that well. We're in week 6. The top laners are both still struggling. And at this point, how good is C9? Like, do we still consider them like one of these top teams that's just going to bounce back? I mean, we're pretty late in the season.
Yeah, and even if you look at Envy, the people they lost to, they have, in a sense, more win conditions available to them where Lyra can go off, or Niski can have a good game, or Apollo can do well. And for C9, it feels like if Jensen does not carry this team to a victory, they basically lose.
I think without a doubt, they don't look as strong as they did in spring, and that they do have narrow win conditions. Of course, they still have a little bit of time to turn the tides and move themselves back up those standings. Now, the only top teams that performed to expectations coming into the week have been Immortals and TSM. TSM still riding hot off of Rift Rivals, looking very dominant. Immortals as well, bouncing back after struggling there back in week 5.
I mean, TSM, there's not too much to say. TSM is TSM. They just obliterate people for the most part. They have really clean macro. They did struggle a little bit versus P1, but then again, P1 has been looking better, so it's not surprising to see them put up a little bit of a fight, and at the end of the day, it was still a 2-0.
And I mean, it's impressive to see TSM's constant improvement throughout the split. I think that going into Rift Rivals, there's a lot of hype. They had won at one point 10 games in a row. They smashed at Rift Rivals. They come back. They beat P1, who looked the second best team there. So to me, TSM is looking like the best team clearly in the league right now, despite the standings.
How about the Immortals bounce back, though?
I mean, it's impressive to me just because there's like that small concern when you go 0-2 before an off week, and then you have a little bit of time where you're not as a team.
Fall off.
Yeah, are you going to completely lose momentum? And when you come out of the break week, you struggle again, and you can really demotivate yourselves. But it's nice to see them come out really strong in a 2-0, look very convincing while doing that, and that bodes well for them going into the later part of the season.
Both of those teams will have the opportunity to tie up with CLG for first place today if they're able to pick up their wins. But we want to put your precognitive powers to the test in our Twitter question of the day. So tell us what you think will be the next big surprise we can look forward to here in the North American LCS. Does your crystal ball see Team Liquid beating TSM today? Are your tea leaves certain Ray will 1v9 on Tarek top lane? Or consult your tarot cards and let us know what you're predicting to @LOL Esports with the hashtag NALCS. Jat, Kobe, and myself can read your genius on NALCS tonight. What's going on here? What do you see?
I see that you will not be able to watch the Game of Thrones premiere for some reason tonight.
That's awful.
It's ominous.
That
it
is
doesn't look good.
awful.
Your future looks terrible,
That
James.
means I'm going to have to live like in a social media blackout for as long as it takes until I'm going to lose my mind. I'm freaking out. Anyway, I predict that if I send it over to the casters, they'll get the games underway. Let's see if that happens.
Thank you very much, Dash.